I created myself in Football Manager. After managing way too many different teams, it's finally time that I step onto the pitch and see how well will I do in a new role. How will I perform? Where will I go? What will I achieve? These and many more questions have to be answered. So let's find out. This is me. I'm actually going to play football in the virtual world. Apart from the fact I forced my current ability to sit at around 70 points out of 200, I tried to make my profile as true as possible. I like to play anywhere up front, and I don't like to use my right foot. Some of my strengths are stamina, I literally run half marathons and my personal best is 1:39.11. Flair, because I love delivering a trick or especially a rabona, or my movement of the ball, as I tend to get into the chances quite easily. On the other side though, I go as far as even avoiding most duels, I'm not that strong and I can zone out quite easily on the pitch. Will this prevent me from becoming a world-class player, or will I be able to break through into the world's biggest clubs? Let's find out. I will let the game simulate my career as it wishes. However, I still reserve the right to intervene on 2 occasions of a transfer whenever I feel my career is not going to plan. But now the main question is, where am I going to start? There are 8 clubs I can join, which are all from my region or its whereabouts. And you know what? I'll give this wheel a chance to decide which club will be the first in my career. We're going to play for Górnik Zabrze, who are just after their first trophy win in over 40 years, a takeover by Lukas Podolski, and tried before Champions League qualifying rounds. But let's be honest, there's no chance Michal Gaspari gives us a chance to play there. Of course, I will start at the under-19 squad, and this raises a question. What about my potential? Right now I have a potential ability of 100 out of 200, which could make me maybe break into the starting 11 in a relegation-threatened Ekstraklasa team. But there is a way I can boost it during the first season. For every assist that I get in all youth and senior competitions, I will boost my potential by 1 point. For every goal, I get 2 points, and for every player of the match, I get 4. Bonus 5 points if I keep my average rating at 6.8 or higher throughout all competitions, and 5 more if I help Górnik under-19s win the league. But now, it's finally time to find out. How well can I perform in the first season? What will be my potential? Will you subscribe to the channel, because only 3.5% of you do so, and it's about time we bump this number up. Thank you. But now, let's simulate the very first season and answer all of these questions. Also, 500 likes and I'll make a part 2 of this video with me as the manager. Okay, I did not see this coming. I became an absolute star for Górnik's B team and the under-19s. In my very first season, I scored 13 goals and added 15 assists. I also became a player of the match 4 times and my average rating was at an insane 7.3. My form became a major reason why Górnik Zabrze won the Polish under-19s league. I also got a debut in Poland's under-19s with 2 substitute appearances. I wish I also got a debut in the Ekstraklasa though, because I think I could have helped the first team not bottle the Polish league title. We were leading with 3 games to go, only to finish 3rd. But the most important question is, what about my potential? It's time to become a proper wonderkid, because in total, I earned, and I'm not kidding, 67 points of potential. So yeah, my peak is at 167 points now. This means I can become about as good as Kvichak Kvaratskhelia, Phil Foden or Jamal Musiala. With the new talent, I expect at least an Ekstraklasa debut next season. And that's exactly what I got in the final match day against Wisła Kraków. What's more, I also scored in my Ekstraklasa debut, a minor contribution to Górnik finishing 7th in the league. But I spent the rest of the season in the B team or under-19s. There, I again was a star with 13 goals and 14 assists. However, we only finished 6th in the Youth League. And there is nothing to talk about the UEFA Youth League. We were eliminated in the first round by FC Andorra. It was another great season with plenty of goals to show. I think it's time that I get a proper chance in the first team now and work my way to the starting 11. There is a reason to believe it will all happen. At the start of the season, I broke the barrier of 100 points of current ability and was promoted to the first team. Early into the season, I even scored against Raków Częstochowa. It was a 3-1 loss and my only goal of the season. Throughout the campaign, I was mainly a substitute, getting an opportunity to play here and there. In that time, I also added 3 assists, and this was enough for Górnik to win their first league title since 1988. What a year for the club, in which I started to slowly play a bigger role. Just like in Poland under-21s, where I got my first caps and my first goal. With Champions League football in sight, maybe next year is my breakout year. And it indeed was. I broke into Górnik's starting 11 once and for all, and now I play the majority of the games. In the 4th season, I scored 6 goals and added 4 assists, helping Górnik defend the Polish league title. Not only that, I also got my debut in the Champions League, but I only got 2 substitute appearances in the league phase. There, we finished 35th, but with 5 points and a historic win over Athletic Bilbao. I also got a debut in the Polish national team in 2 friendlies against Armenia and Azerbaijan, and I even scored in the latter. We're not going to the World Cup though. We landed in a qualifying group with Italy and Croatia, and ultimately missed out even on the playoffs. But this was the season I truly wanted and needed. In the winter, there was some interest from the Serie B sides. Now, PSG wants to sign me. And just a month later, half of Europe wants my signature. So maybe it's time to see if I can conquer the big leagues. But do you remember that we have 2 interventions I can take to help my career? We'll find out if we need to use the first one within a year or 2, because I don't want to sit on the bench all the time. So, will I get the chance to play in Bayern, who overtook Juventus and Roma and paid 3.6 million euros for my services? However, at most, I will be a substitute or a top player for the second team. My best hope is that Bochum from the second Bundesliga take me on a loan for regular game time, which I did not get, so it looks like I'm spending at least half a year on Bayern's bench. And I want to take a little risk and just let myself stay in Bayern for a year, just to see how many chances will I get. It was a terrible decision. I did not play practically any football at Bayern, just a few substitute appearances. I mean, I can tell I contributed to the domestic double, but was it worth it when I just sat on the bench for a full campaign? My playing time was so bad, I even stopped being a starter for the Polish national team. I'm in a place where I think I should either see myself go on loan or step in and intervene. But for now, I'll wait until we're nearing the end of the transfer window. And I did not move anywhere. So,
what I'm actually going to do is use my first of the interventions, and we'll be using it on a loan somewhere lower in the Bundesliga or in the second Bundesliga. And for that very reason, my choice for a loan is to go to Karlsruhe, where I'm guaranteed to play in the starting 11. First intervention used, and now we'll see how well can I fare while actually playing in the Bundesliga.
In Karlsruhe, I spent my entire loan as a substitute, but as a genuine substitute, because I always came onto the pitch from the bench. During the campaign, I scored 2 goals and added 2 assists, so I think I quite defended myself in the Bundesliga. Karlsruhe also defended themselves in the Bundesliga, and despite the terrible ending to the season. The loan spell in itself was quite decent though. At least I got to play, but at the same time, my current ability did not rise at all. So I'm returning to Bayern just as good as I was when I left. And what's even worse, I lost my slot in the national team. No harm though, Poland didn't even make it to the Euros. It's not looking good at all. Am I going to have to use the second and last intervention already? I decided to let the game decide what's going on with my career. I have to be careful with using my resources. The game decided that I will not get another loan, let alone a transfer away. But by the middle point of the season, 17 clubs put me on their wish list. For Bayern, I only got few substitute appearances in that half a year, so a loan is truly needed. A loan that will happen. I became a new player for Fiorentina. Not only that, I will join there on a permanent basis for the new season. My hopes in Italy are pretty simple. I want to become a member of the starting 11, establish myself as a top 5 league player, and challenge for the Champions League slot. But I did not become a member of the starting 11 with just a few substitute appearances. I'm yet to establish myself as a top 5 league player, as my CA is at 123 and we did not win the Champions League slot. On all fields, I failed. But with a couple substitute appearances in, I'm hoping for a better future once my move to Fiorentina becomes permanent.
Guys, this is a disaster. We've got some caps for Poland, we've got some substitute appearances in the Serie A, but just look at this. I have a heavy injury, and not only that, I'm already transfer listed. Let's just say the season was a flat-out disaster. Oh my days, I've had 2 major injuries throughout the season.
But by August, I was no longer injured, no longer transfer listed, and a fringe player for the team. As a result, my current ability is still at a pretty low 126. Is it enough to make me able to play in the 9th season? Turns out, staying in Fiorentina was a fantastic decision. Despite my profile stating I'm a French player, I actually was a regular in the starting 11. I scored 2 goals and added 2 assists. A minor contribution to Fiorentina's 12th place in the Serie A. But what matters is that I finally found my place within the top 5 leagues. Now, the only way is up. Or a loan to Vitória Guimarães. What? I don't get it. What's the point? Genuinely, what's the point of this? The point is that I finally became a star player for any team. In Vitória, I played in practically every game throughout the season. In all competitions, I scored 10 goals and added 8 assists, which is by far my best season yet. The highlights of the year were braces against FC Porto in the league and Sturm Graz in the Europa League. Domestically, we finished in an okay 8th place. In Europe, we dropped from Champions League qualifiers to the Europa League, which we finished in the knockout playoff round against Juventus. This was a season so great that my current ability increased to 138, my loan became a permanent transfer for 6.5 million euros, and I was called up to the 2036 euros with Poland. We went into the group D with Georgia, Belgium and Germany, in which I got 2 substitute appearances and we won the group. But in the knockouts, I was in the starting 11. we met Ireland in the round of 16. We won the game 2-1 with goals from PSV Nugent Kołosowski, whom I technically assisted but it doesn't count, and the centre-back Kacper Potulski. We then had the rematch for a 2-1 group stage win over Belgium in the quarter-final. In the quarters, we won again, and guess who scored the only goal? I did! I am now a European Championship goal scorer. This meant we went to the semi-final against France. This was Poland's best ever result in the Euros already, but that's also where the tournament ends. We lost 2-0, and what's worse, I am back in my new club, injured. Did the injury prevent me from having a strong season in Guimarães? Of course not. In fact, I am now declared as a star of the club, and it feels like I found my place in the footballing world. With only the league and the cup in the calendar, I was shining. This season, I scored 8 goals and 8 assists in the league, which we finished in a very solid 4th and added a one of each in the cup, in which went to the semi-final. This great form helped me rise my current ability to 142, which could make me fit into the starting 11 of, for example, Southampton, who just stayed up in the Premier League. But I'm not interested in moving away from Portugal. It's time to build a legacy in a city between Porto and Braga, which I kept on building throughout my 3rd season in Portugal. I am the 2nd highest rated player in Vitoria, and I show it on the pitch with a number 10 on my back. In the 12th season, I scored 9 goals and added 5 assists in the league. Thanks to that, we finished 7th, only 1 point behind FC Porto. I also scored 3 times in the Europa League with 1 assist. It only led us to 27th in the league stage though. I love my career so far in Guimarães, and I caught the attention of the teams from the Premier League, Villarreal, PAOK Saloniki and Qatar. But I don't want to move. Not now at least. Because I have the World Cup to attend with my country. We went to Algeria to play in a group with Saudi Arabia, Venezuela and Cameroon, which we comfortably won. Against the latter, I also scored and assisted. We then played against Senegal in the round of 32 and had to resort to extra time to win the game 3-2. Our journey continued to the match against Spain in the round of 16. We caused a huge upset by winning 2-1, and now we're in the quarter-final, standing against Germany. This is a fairy tale adventure so far, but can we continue it and make it to the final 4? We can? What's going on? We won 4-2 against our biggest rivals and advanced to the semi-final of the FIFA World Cup. My performance was terrible though, with a 6.0 rating and a yellow card. But hey, at least I won a penalty or something. The penalty I won probably helped me start in the semi-final against Switzerland, who also made an upset against France by the way, and have 2 players that played for me in the Vaduz challenge. Full move in the top right. We entered the pitch hoping to make a miracle like no other. We were now 1 match away from achieving Poland's best World Cup result ever, with me on the right wing. Is it finally the time for us to win it all?
Manzambi starts with a free kick, and it's being crossed into our area, left foot, with a header that Mishta, I don't know why he dived, Waligura takes control of it. Kołosowski tries to head it in, Pascal Mozzi, but just over the crossbar. Giacomo Colotto, you know him from the Vaduz challenge, and now he sends the ball to Nikolic on the left side. Nikolic makes a turn, Colotto takes control of the ball right in front of the area. Cezary Mishta, fantastic save. The left winger who's a Nugent, pass it to Mozzi. Waligura should have backheeled it to me. Waligura, Spychała, and now I did not even get the ball. Maybe I'm cautious because I've got a yellow, but oh no, I'm sent off in the World Cup semi-final! What is this? How can one waste the chance to win the literal World Cup by getting a red? And that of course had to be me. If I scored at least once in the knockouts against like Spain or something, we would be fine. But no, Vasovic to Manzambi. I believe it's a winner for Switzerland unless we start attacking like crazy. I cannot believe it. It was also in the 89th minute, so basically that's it. Nothing else is going to happen. At least we still have a 3rd place playoff, but I genuinely feel we could have won.
We dropped into the 3rd place playoff, in which we played against Austria. Without me on the pitch, we had a 0-0 draw in the 90th minute. Then, we scored in the 92nd minute, just for Austria to equalize 2 minutes later. This meant we headed to extra time, in which we scored 2 goals and equaled our best World Cup result ever. But I just can't believe what I've done. I got a red card in the World Cup semi-final. We could have genuinely won, but we did not, only because of me. What a bizarre tournament. But I have to move on and return to the club football. With this performance, I'm not earning a move into the top 4 league. And I guess it's for the better. I like it here in Guimarães. Or not, because I just requested a transfer and West Ham sent an offer on the deadline day. I don't even get the point of this transfer, honestly. I'm having a fantastic start to the season with Vitoria, with 5 goals in 4 games. But turns out, it may be the time for me to move into the Premier League. And it is. For 23 million euros, I became a squad player for the Hammers. In London, I will have to genuinely fight for a slot in the starting 11 if I want to stay afloat in the Premier League. I understand why my character decided to move there though. It may have been my last chance to go into the biggest leagues, especially after the World Cup success. I had to capitalize on this opportunity. But did I? As a team, we did. A 9th place in the league and a Europa League win over AS Roma on penalties. But to me as an individual, I was placed down as a regular substitute with only 5 starts in all competitions. In those, I only scored 1 goal in a 6-0 demolition of Tottenham. This is an insane downgrade compared to my time in Vitoria, and I'm starting to wonder if this is the right time to intervene for the second and final time. I'm happy to wait 1 more season though, just for a chance to play Champions League football. Which of course I did not get. Not even a single start anywhere. At least I get to say I scored a goal again. But now I'm transfer listed, which I think is a good thing for my playing time. I caught the attention of other English sides who wanted to strike a loan deal, and Red Bull Salzburg with AK Athens want me to sign on a permanent basis. But as of the end of the winter season, I'm still in East London. By the way, just a question. Why is West Ham in East London? How did it even happen? What did not happen was a change to my squad status. All I got was substitute appearances, and I did not even play in the Champions League, where West Ham went out in the knockout playoff against Marseille, and all I scored was 1 goal and 1 assist. We finished the league in a solid 7th place. Normally, I would use this season to build my place in West Ham, but when all I can do is to be a regular substitute, I'm looking for a way to leave. Will I find myself a new club where I can truly shine just like in Vitoria? I mean, I already requested a transfer by myself in the game, so there is a chance. We'll have to wait with the decision though, at least until the 2040 Euros round up. And of course, I was called up. We went to Italy, to a group with Belgium, Switzerland and Luxembourg. No tension though, we were eliminated in last place and even Luxembourg won against us. So I guess the best decision now is to wait until the middle of August and find out if I move anywhere or will I have to intervene. And in the middle of August, I'm still in West Ham, still on the transfer list and still wanted by AEK. AEK have the transfer budget required to sign me, and I would be a firm member of their starting 11. What are they waiting for? I guess it's time for my second and final intervention.
So, what I'm doing here is a permanent move. In my second and final intervention, let's go to AK Athens. There is no reason not to do this transfer.
We're in Greece now. As I just turned 30, I really need a lot of playing time to prevent my attributes, especially the physical ones, from declining. Let's see what I can do in a brand new league. I truly came alive in Athens. I may as well say I had the best season of my life. In fact, my current ability increased to 146 points, the highest I've had in my career so far, at 31 years old. I scored 9 goals and added 12 assists in the league alone, which we still finished in second after absolutely bottling it near the end of the season. And I got injured for a good 2 months. But at least I proved decisive in the Greek Cup. I scored a brace in the final, which we won 3-1, and won a major trophy this season. The Champions League wasn't nearly as successful though, we went out in the league stage. But this was exactly the season I needed. I finally started to shine and again, I found a great place for my career. Wojciech, please just don't move to Sheffield. You need to stay in Greece. This is the place for you right now. And thankfully, I stayed. However, the first season felt a bit too good. Before the second campaign, AEK signed a lot of competition for the attacking positions. This includes Omar El Yamani, Rafał Bogus and Shinji Kitano. In my second campaign, I was still starting in most games, don't get me wrong, but out of 31 league appearances, I came on from the bench on 14 occasions, and that's quite a lot. In all competitions, I scored 9 goals and gave 12 assists, which are pretty solid numbers. AK Athens had yet another terrible ending to the season though. Because of that, we finished the league on a lowly 4th. At least we won the Super Cup. In Europe, we dropped down to the Europa League, which we finished on a knockout playoff round against Slavia Prague. And if you're wondering what will happen in the World Cup with Poland, don't. We did not qualify. This means I could focus solely on preparing for a new season with AEK. It was amazing from an individual perspective. I was scoring and assisting left, right and center. I scored 11 goals in the league and 9 more in the Europa League. Not only that, I added 7 assists in each of those competitions. My season was great, but AEK's season wasn't, at least in the league where we finished 5th. The European adventure was much more successful though. We went to the league stage, which we finished on 10th. In the knockout playoff, we beat PAOK Saloniki as I scored the brace in the second leg. I scored those goals in the 21st and 37th minute to help AEK progress. Then we met Malmö of Sweden, who we beat, and I scored early in the second match. Sadly, Lille proved to be too much of a task to handle, and we are knocked out in the quarterfinal. Yet another fantastic season for me in AK Athens. Arguably, my stint here is even better than the one in Guimarães. But I don't feel so sunshine and rainbows right now. You see, I'm already 33 years old and my attributes, especially physical ones, are going down. My overall is down to 138 points now, and although I'm still one of the best attackers in the club, I can feel that my career is not far from reaching its end. Why did I request a transfer? Is it because I'm raging after we were knocked out in the conference qualifiers against CFR Cluj? Or because I was once assisted by a player in a substitute tracksuit? Something definitely went wrong, but quickly got resolved, and I enjoyed yet another great season in Athens. With only the league in mind, the club's form did not really improve. We finished 5th again. But I did quite well. At least I consider 7 goals and 6 assists as quite well. My returns did not earn me a place in the Polish national team for the 2044 Euros though. That's because we did not make it to the 2044 Euros. And with my continuous drop in current ability, I don't think I'll play many more games, if any, for Poland. Or actually none. I retired from international football. This is a clear indication that my career will soon come to a close, so let's enjoy whatever time we have left on the pitch. We will have to find a new place for me though. My contract with AKA fans ran out. Thankfully, I still had interest from clubs around Europe. The most decisive side turned out to be Eyüpspor, whose ambition is to be an established side in the Turkish Super League. I will be a very important addition to their squad. In fact, I am Eyüpspor's joint best player. Let's enter the pitch and see how my adventure in potentially my final club pans out. It didn't start well. I got injured like 2 weeks after joining the team. But as the campaign went on, I was actually having a decent time. My numbers may not have been the best, but I still often started for Eyüpspor. In 23 league appearances, I scored 3 goals and gave 3 assists. This was enough to help Eyüpspor enjoy a fantastic season, which we finished on 6th. Unfortunately, we missed out on European football by a matter of goal difference. I looked at this season though and decided to bow out on a high. After this campaign, I'm retiring as a player and maybe stepping into management. That depends on you though. 500 likes if you want to see it, and I know you can do it. But now, let's quickly summarize my career. I can basically call it as great, but not ideal. I did not have what it takes to be world class, but I was shining just below that level. I wasn't able to break into the starting 11 of Bayern or West Ham, but I was truly shining in Vitoria Guimarães and AKA Athens. I was also one of the stars of the Polish national team. In fact, I am considered its legend, and I think equaling nation's best World Cup result definitely helped. I'm still regretting that red card in the semi-final though. Throughout my career, excluding the B teams, I played in 593 games, scored 127 goals and gave 96 assists. Considering the fact some seasons may as well have been a waste of time, this isn't a bad record. I also have a nice collection of trophies, although me and you both know I could have won much more in Greece for example. But overall, this is a career I would genuinely enjoy. I could not win the World Cup with Poland as the player, but can I do as the manager? That's right, I once took charge of Poland and played out the 2026 World Cup. How did our team perform? Click on the video that is on your screen right now to find out.